Hey guys, welcome back to another brand new video. We are back for our stage 2 major predictions. It was a wild way we finished stage 2. We'll quickly go over our week 3 picks, which were simply abysmal. So they can't really get any worse, and then we'll hop right into our predictions for the tournament. Let's get right into it. Okay, and when I mean my predictions were bad, very bad. Once again, every week it always seems to be two core teams that I mess up on. This week, it's Minnesota and Seattle. I took Minnesota to lose their games. Or no, I took Minnesota to lose their games, and I took Optic to lose both of their games. I took Seattle to win both of their games. Completely reversed. I reversed both of those, and I'm not looking too bad. But we'll quickly go through it. One of the few, I only got 3 games right the entire week. Really bad. Dallas was able to get the win over Florida. This is where I took Seattle over Optic. Didn't happen. I was pretty confident in the London Royal Ravens over Toronto, and then Toronto came out and won 3-0 over London. So London had a great week too, and they kind of threw it all away against Toronto. FaZe lost their first match of the week to the Gorillas, of all teams, to the Gorillas. So yeah, there goes that. Thought I had a for sure lock win with, the FaZe beating Gorillas, but nope. Gorillas somehow win 3-2. What a performance. Hop over. I thought Florida was going to be nice against Paris. Paris was like, no, thank you. I'm going to win 3-1. That really started shaking up the standings when Paris was able to beat Florida. Once again, Seattle went up 2-0 in the series. I took them to win 3-2. They choked them at 5, and they lose 3-2 instead of winning 3-2. Really close. Didn't work out. I had Toronto in a 3. I had New York in a 3-0 over Toronto. Toronto ended up winning one map, but I still got that right. So I got the New York game right, and then I got Atlanta beating FaZe right. I had Atlanta in a 3-1. FaZe won 3-0. And then I had the Thieves beating Gorillas. Gorillas 3-0'd the Thieves, and now make another team change heading into the tournament. Got that wrong, and then I took Optic to lose 3-2, and they ended up winning 3-2. That was the best match. That was the best match of the entire series. Best series of the entire week. It was amazing. So now we're down to our tournament here, and honestly, my predictions can't get any worse. So we're just gonna go with it and see how it goes. All right, so we'll start in winners bracket here. Winners round 1. We've got we'll start with the 1 seeds in each group. Group A's 1 seed was no shock. It was Atlanta FaZe. And then Group B's 1 seed was Minnesota, thanks to Optic beating Dallas. That match had a lot of implications on it. But anyways, let's start with, in my opinion, I think should be an easy one, which should be Optic and Toronto. Optic has a ton of momentum after beating Seattle and Dallas in the same week, especially with how that series went against Dallas. I definitely see Optic winning this. I'll say in probably a 3-0. Honestly, I don't even know how Toronto made it out to winners, but they did. I don't think it's going to matter here, though. I'm going to take Optic in a 3-0 over Toronto. Now, this right here is a spicy round 1. Dallas, they drop or cut or whatever you want to say to Clayster. Clayster goes over and builds this great team now with New York. They're going to face off in round 1 here. I'm going to take Dallas. I like New York. I think it's going to be a 5-game series. Actually, I think it'll be a 4-game series. I'm going to take Dallas 3-1. But I think New York's going to lose early, and then I think they're going to kind of go on a winning run. They're going to stomp through some of these lower tier teams. And I still think they're probably going to end up about top 4. But I do think they lose in round 1 of winners. All right, we'll scroll down here to elimination round 1. We've got the Gorillas and the Mutineers. Man, this is going to be quite the match. I'm going to take the Gorillas here. The Gorillas have been getting better practice, and they have had a good week and a half, 2 weeks recently. Florida, kind of the opposite trend, not having a great time. I think that Gorillas are going to come up hot. They got a big win over Atlanta. I think they can be very confident going into this match, and that's where I think they're going to win. I'm going to take the Gorillas, and I think a 3-1 over Florida. Even in the elimination bracket, these matches are not easy because you've got Paris, who's coming off a nice win. You've got the Thieves, who are coming off making a second team change. And it's so hard to pick here. Personally, I think I'm going to go with Paris. They have been looking great, and not great, but they've been looking better. And with the LA Thieves making a second team swap before the tournament, not even finishing out the tournament, I think that just kind of shows a lack of trust in the team. And personally, they benched, in my opinion, I think their best player. So I never really understood that. So I'm going to take Paris here. I'm going to take Paris and actually in a 3-0 over the Thieves. Okay, Elimination Round 2. This is now into our Thursday matches. We've got Seattle and the Gorillas. Seattle ended their week 3 not the way they wanted to, losing 2 in a row and not making it in a winner's bracket, which they definitely looked like they were going to at the beginning of the week. This is going to be such a tough matchup. I think I'm going to take Seattle to win this one because Seattle as a team, they lost really close to Minnesota. And they happen to be the bounce back game for Optic, which, they come out, they're pissed. They win 3-0. The maps were close. They weren't blowouts. So I don't think I don't want to just wash away Seattle because they lost 2 matches. And I don't want to get too hot on the Gorillas because they were able to beat FaZe. I still think Seattle's a better team here. It may not be down the road, but I think coming into this match, I think Seattle's still a better team, and I think they'll win. I'm going to take Seattle in a 3-2 over the Gorillas. Now I have another interesting match. We got the London Royal Ravens and the Paris Legion. Another clash of these teams where you really can just flip a coin. I think a lot of these matches you can really flip a coin and you really don't know who's going to win. I mean, it is so hard to pick these matches that sometimes you just got to guess. I mean, really, you got to guess. And unfortunately, it feels more like a guess than it does a prediction. Some of these are insanely tough. But anyways, we got London, Paris. Personally, I think I'm going to favor. Let's see how they do in week 2. Honestly, I think I favor. Paris. I think Paris is gonna be kind of a dark horse. I think they're gonna win a couple matches. I think this will be the last match they win. But London doesn't have a lot going for them, and they're kind of win 1 here, lose 3 here. They're never really consistent. Paris hasn't been crazy consistent either, but their stage 2 has definitely been an improvement from stage 1. So I'm definitely going to take Paris here. I'm going to take it in a 3-1 over London. All right. Winners round 2. We're going to hop back up to the top side of the bracket. These, I believe, are the clear-cut top 4 teams in the league right now. I feel pretty confident about saying that. You got FaZe, Optic, Minnesota, and Dallas. I feel this is a core 4. We're going to go into Atlanta and Optic here. Personally, I'm going to take Optic. I know I'm an Optic fan, but the way FaZe lost that match, right? They lost both S&Ds. That is a tough break, losing both S&Ds. Optic has, I believe, won their last 3 or 4 S&Ds in a row, and back when these teams played in their first group in stage 1, Optic won 2 of the respawns and got blown out in both the S&Ds. I don't think Optic's respawn has dropped at all, yet I do believe that their S&D has drastically improved. And maybe Atlanta FaZe's S&D has slightly, weakened. Even against that checkmate hardpoint, Dallas and Chicago, it was like 250 to like 100. I mean, they just blew them out of the water. They know what they're doing in hardpoint. I'm going to take Optic here. I'm going to take them in a 3-1. Actually, I think they'll close out in 4. All right, and then our next matchup, we have Dallas and Minnesota, who actually played recently, and Rocker came out on top. This is going to be another crazy matchup. I think both of these are going to be absolute nail-biters. And honestly, I think it's more of a flip of the coin on who I think is going to win. I'm going to take Minnesota. They're riding a great wave, and Dallas is going to be pissed after that last time. And I think they're going to get their first win, but I don't think they're going to win this one. They have a definitely harder road than Optic does, in my opinion, on that top bracket. I know they have FaZe, but they also get it's not a freebie, but they get a weaker one in Toronto versus having to play the subliners. So I'm going to take Minnesota here. I'm going to take them in a 3-2 over Dallas, just like last time. And I think that's just kind of the spell of the way it is. And I think the Rocker are going to make the winners bracket final. Before we get to that, though, now we're going to come down here to Elimination Round 3. We've got Toronto versus Seattle. Toronto beat, who was it, the Ravens, I believe it was. They beat the Ravens. Let's see here. Toronto beat the Ravens. That was their only match of the week. So I can't put too much stock in it. I still think Seattle is a better team off their recent performances than Toronto is. I think that was Toronto's only second win. I think they won like their first match, lost the next three, and then I think they made winners bracket at 2 and 3. So I don't think they're as good as the bracket kind of says they are. So I'm gonna take Seattle in this one. I'm gonna take them in a 3-1 over Toronto. Now we have New York versus Paris. I think this is where New York is able to find their footing a bit. I think they lose against Dallas, but I think they come down here and they get a nice win against Paris to kind of get them going in the tournament. I think they got kind of a tough draw in winners bracket, but I do expect them to win this match. I'm probably gonna take them in a 3-0 over Paris. I think they're out of this kind of lower bracket area around here. I think they're definitely the best team down here. Okay, and now we are at Dallas and Seattle. Personally, I think this is where Seattle's run kind of ends here. I do think Dallas is a better team. I don't think they're going to drop this early in the tournament. I think right here, your top 6. I just can't see Dallas getting top 6 right now. Unfortunately, one of these 4 teams down here is going to get top 6, which is kind of nuts to me. 2 of them aren't going to be top 4, which is crazy. But I do think Dallas wins this year. I think this is where they kind of take over. Seattle hasn't had a great history this year against Dallas, so I'm going to take Dallas to win this one 3-1 over Seattle. You know, when I come in and I sit down and make these videos, the prediction videos, I don't go and look up stats. I don't go and do research beforehand. You know, this isn't super serious. This is just from me watching when I watch and then making my predictions when it's time to make predictions. You know, so I'm no guru or insider or anything like that when it comes to this. Is just my picks and based off of zero research and by me just watching the videos. But in here, I'm going to take Atlanta. I don't think they're going to be one and done. Not in stage 2. So I'm going to take Atlanta to win this one. I'm going to take them to probably win in a 3-2. I'm actually going to take them to win it in a 3-0 over New York. But I think that's probably as far as Atlanta is going to make it in this one. All right, let's hop up to our winners final real quick. We got Chicago, after Chicago and Minnesota Rocker. Right now, I do believe Chicago is making great strides, but also Minnesota. I think these right now are the 2 hottest teams in the league, which makes sense why they're both here, why they're both in winners bracket final. Unfortunately, only one of them can make it, and only one of them can win the whole thing. I do think the winner is going to be one of these 2 teams, though. I do believe this is the grand final matchup at the very end. In winners bracket, though, I think the winner is going to be Optic. I do believe Minnesota's going to fall here and then make their way back up to the grand final, which I believe is a best of 9 or something crazy like that. I'm going to take Optic here. I'm going to take it in a 3-2 over Minnesota. And here we have their elimination round 5. We've got Dallas versus FaZe. I think, FaZe a little shaky. I think Dallas is going to win this one. I couldn't tell you how. That's just my guess. And like I said, some of these are more guesses than predictions. But I'm going to take Dallas to win this one. I'm going to take them to win in a 3-2 over FaZe. All right, and now we got Minnesota versus Dallas. Winner goes to the grand final. Personally, I'm going to take Minnesota here. I think Optic and Minnesota are the 2 best teams in the league right now. Man, if I go high on Minnesota again and they disappoint me, that's going to be very frustrating now, isn't it? But I'm going to take Minnesota here. Minnesota's gotten the better of Dallas recently, and I think that's going to continue. I think Minnesota's going to beat Dallas twice in this tournament. I know that's kind of a bold thing to say, but I think that's what's going to happen. It's bold, but there's bold things happen. Crazy things ever happened. So I'm going to take Minnesota to win here. I'm going to take them to win in a 3-1 over Dallas. All right. And now we're down to our final 2 teams, in my opinion. We've got Chicago Optic and we've got Minnesota Rocker. I'm going to take Minnesota. I'm going to take Optic to win in, I think, 5-3 in this one. I don't think it's going to be easy. I don't think any of these matches are going to be easy. I think all 12 teams are more closely competitive than ever. I'm going to take Optic to win 5-3 in my opinion, and I think Minnesota could win stage 3. But anyways, guys, that's my bracket. I'm going to go ahead and submit my bracket. I am done. Hands off. I'm leaving it up to the Call of Duty gods now at this point. But that is going to be my predictions. Let me know what you guys think down below, and let me know if you guys have made your predictions yourself. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you guys want more of me, make sure to follow my Twitter and Twitch down below. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.